Traditional jobs are absolutely pointless. You understand this because you probably work a traditional job. You work 9 to 5. If you're lucky, more than likely you end up working 50, 60, 70 hours a week. And for what reason? It's just enough to cover the bills, but you can't actually live a life. But that's the life of most people in America right now. And to be honest, it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse because of complacency, because we let it get this way. Does it need to be this way? No. It's a very strange thing that Americans actually think that it's normal to work 80, 90, 100 hours a week. But has it actually benefited you? No, of course it isn't. The thing is, it's gotten so out of hand, right? Our economy, the job market, the cost of living, right? Just the insane culture in our country has gotten so out of hand that we think it's okay to work so much, even though it's breaking us, even though it takes us away from our families, even though it ruins our health, and we're all getting fatter and fatter and more unhealthy as the years go on, and we think it's normal. We think it's good. We think that it's just the way that it is. You know, hey, you got to work 70, 80 hours a week if you want to hit that American dream. That's not how you get anywhere in life now. This is an archaic way of doing things, and it's being exploited day by day. You are being exploited when you're working 80 hours a week, 90 hours a week. Understand that that's 2 full-time jobs that you're working. But if you say that, hey, I don't want to work 80 hours a week, I want to work 40 or 50 hours a week. I want to get a little bit of overtime, but I still want to be able to have a life. I still want to be able to have a family. Good luck. I still want to be able to go on vacation. Not going to happen. People will shame you and call you lazy and say you need to do harder. You're just not putting enough effort in. We need to see more from you. I get that sometimes. I work an absurd amount of hours because in finance, you work all the time. But even though I'll be absolutely stacked in my day, sometimes I still get a message that says, hey, we're just not getting the effort from you that we need. It's a kind of abusive, toxic, psychological game that truly reminds me of being in the military. And for somehow it's just swept its way through the corporate world. Corporate jobs are done. They're dead. Like, there's a few of them that are still okay. Finance, hey, you're okay. Sales, hey, you're okay. You're okay in these places, number one, because Americans are terrible with their finances and put themselves in crazy debt all the time, or because there's just freakish consumers who want to buy everything even when they can't afford them. So yeah, finance and sales, they're going to be fine for quite some time. But every other job out there, you're either going to get replaced by AI, you're going to be disrespected and abused. Your time doesn't really mean anything to those who are actually making your schedule. So what do you do? What can you do? That's the real question. You just kind of have to get away. Listen, the time where you can have one job, just one stream of income going in, like, it's done. This is an old world way of thinking now. It's an old world way of thinking because it's used to work 30, 40, 50 years ago. But now you're just bashing your head against the wall day after day, clocking in, sitting down, losing every part of your life, losing the days, the weeks, the months, the years in your life until you have nothing left, until you hit an age where maybe you can collect Social Security, but 10 years from now, Social Security is basically going under. So we're doing this all right now for no reason, because costs have gone up so much that no one can actually save any money. And if you can't save any money, you can't save up for retirement. And if you can't save up for retirement, that means that you're just not going to retire. It's done. It's over, right? Americans work so much for no reason. And I say, hey, enough. Find another way. Quit the 9-to-5 job and just start something. Start mowing lawns, you know? I don't know, start selling stuff online. If it's hot outside where you're at, start selling ice cream. You know, get that entrepreneurial spirit. And I'm not going to tolerate people who say, well, not everyone can start a business. You go, why not? Why not? Because if you have more people who start businesses and leave the job market, that means that there's less people trying to contend for these jobs, and the less labor there is in the job market, the more the pay has to go up to actually get people to take those jobs. Because that's how we got into this problem in the first place, by having way too many people and not enough jobs. And of course, the answer is always, well, there's plenty of jobs on the farm. The immigrants gone. Why don't you just go pick some strawberries? You go pick some strawberries. That kind of stupid argument only comes from some 70, 80-year-old hick who doesn't even live in this real world anymore. You had your house paid off 30 years ago in a time where you only paid $50,000 for a 4-bedroom house, and your generation ruined the economy, ruined our country. And now you're going to lecture young people who work 70, 80 hours a week, 2 to 3 different jobs, on how they're lazy when you probably never worked more than 40 hours a week in your life. Fucking shame on you, dude. You suck. This is why everyone hates boomers. Like, I get it. Listen, 20% of my audience, they're boomers, and I understand that. I deal with the older generation all the time with my job, and many of them are in real bad places because the bad spending habits isn't just something that young people have. I can't tell you how many people I talk to every day who have a home, who have a car, they're paid for, but still have 20 different credit cards, and they're not 20, 30 years old. No, they're 60, 70 years old. But even some of them, when you talk to them, still talk to you with the air of disrespect, like I'm not a financial expert, and they are, even though their world is about to financially collapse on them. But that's besides the point. Listen, jobs just aren't the same as they used to be, and we all know that, but we have to find another way. If we're not going to be able to find another way, then the entire system needs to be changed. And like I said, we need more job creation because there's just too many people in the job market. So there's no need for the pay to actually go up. And you can't say, well, there's just not enough money for these businesses, these corporations to pay. Yes, of course there is. Of course there's enough money for them to pay. When year after year, they're making record-breaking profits, listen, the money is there. It's just they know that they don't have to pay that much because somebody is going to take that job at $20, $25 an hour, even though you need $40, $50 an hour. Someone's going to take it. You might not, right? You might not, but they will. And as long as that's possible, these jobs just aren't going to pay more. You're going to be capped out at $25, $30 an hour, right? $30 an hour sounds like great money still, just because the cost of living has gone up so fast over the years, right? That 10 years ago, $30 an hour, that was great cash. But now, man, good luck. We've recently been thinking about making a transfer to Arizona for my job, just to get out of the winter cold weather. But say I went ahead and sold my house here and tried to get a home there. I'd have to get a house half my size there for $500,000. I'm not willing to do that. It's probably not even a good place. Or spend $3,000 a month on an apartment. It's ludicrous, and I'm not willing to do that. So I will sit here and brave the winter. And then when the wife wants to get out of the cold, send her ass down to Florida so she can visit her friends. Other than that, I'm not letting any corporation, I'm not letting any job tell me how to live my life. The only reason I deal with this is because I get paid well. And if you get paid super well, hey, yeah, maybe 50, 60, 70 hours a week, it's worth it. And in some cases it is. But listen, if you're working retail, you're working some kind of service job, just understand that this traditional way of work, this way of work that used to be able to lift people out of poverty and actually give them good lives, where they can pursue the ownership of assets, which is the only real way to have any control in this country and in our lives. And now those same jobs keep you in the position where you'll never be able to attain any assets at all, where you'll always be priced out. You'll always be right on the margin of being able to reach up and get that. But no, as soon as that happens, a little bit more inflation, right? That raise just isn't as much as you thought it was going to be, and it's all done on purpose. So as far as these jobs go, don't respect them like you think you should. Don't respect them like they tell you that you should. Don't have some kind of allegiance to the career that doesn't care about your life, that doesn't care about your family. Fuck it. Get yours, find your people, find something you love to do. Find a way to monetize your passions, because that's what life is really about. You want a good career? That's what you need to do. But by God, don't let these people steal your lives, because at the end of the day, your life is your own and you're the person who is in control of it. But that's all I got for today. Like and subscribe, thinking about becoming a member. If you're still here at this point, hey, I appreciate the support. And hit the bell for notifications. That way, when something comes out, you're actually getting it. Any comments, any agreements, disagreements, put it down in the comment section. Let's fight it out, right? But other than that, it's Friday. Hope you guys have a good one. Take care.